you're ready, Juan. Welcome to the 101, brought to you by Whiteside Dodge Chrysler Jeep. We're back after a little bit of a delay. We've had a couple weeks off, but we're back. And today we have a hometown favorite in here. We have the guys from Level Up in here. We have Dave Pando and Michael Wolf. Dave, how are you?
Doing amazing. How are you?
Wolfie?
Splendid.
Now, Wolfie, I'm excited to have you in here because I think we should let people know that we are on probably one of the most legendary softball teams that's just started.
Yes.
Right? So that is one reason you're here, but also because Dave has Level Up and you work there. So I just want to let people know, A, greatest softball team ever, just got started,
Yes.
and also what Level Up is. So let's hand this off to Dave real quick. Dave, give a little background because you have a strange cell phone number, so obviously you're not from here, and you knew nothing about Grove City alumni until this year, so tell the people out there who you are and how you got here.
So, my name is Dave, and I'm originally from Cleveland, but after college I moved to San Diego. I escaped the cold, and I had a good 3-year run out in San Diego working for some of the biggest paintball parks in the world, and I've been playing paintball my whole life, and it's always been a dream of mine to open a field, but it is way too expensive to open any kind of business in California. So after a bunch of research, I came back home to Ohio, but chose Columbus to be the destination for what I think is one of the biggest and best up-and-coming paintball parks in the country. But we're just getting started. But as of right now, we've got just a massive 36-acre paintball park right in Grove City, and it's growing. It's becoming pretty awesome.
Let me back up. So you left Cleveland with the dream of doing paintball.
So,
or you just wanted to go where it was warm and you fell into paintball.
So I graduated from OU, so I'm a Bobcat. And after college, I had a marketing degree, and I was just trying to dip my toes into the industry any way I could, I started writing for paintball magazines, and after I would write an article about somebody, I would say, hey, I just graduated, so you should probably hire me, and everybody laughed. One guy in LA said, well, if you lived in LA, I'd hire you. So I packed my bags and showed up at his paintball park 2 weeks later. I moved to California at that point, and I showed up and I said, here I am, and he hired me for minimum wage in LA, and I slept on couches and made it work.
So you were like a working actor that never got a part. But you were paid the same.
Yeah, except I didn't do the cliche move to LA to become an actor. I wanted to work in the paintball industry. That's what I like to do, and it just, I couldn't get out of my head, so I focused up. Also, I had no problems moving to the West Coast from Cleveland. I hate the cold.
Which makes total sense that you came back to Columbus, right? Where it's only cold 9 months out of the year. You made a really smart decision. I'm not questioning you as a business person, maybe more on knowing the ecology around here, that's all.
Well, just so you know, Columbus is way better than Cleveland when it comes to cold and snow.
I think everybody would know just the statement. It's way better than Cleveland.
Yeah.
You can
Well, go Browns.
I was going to say go Browns
now,
yeah.
So it's not that bad.
Everybody says that now, and before it's like no Browns.
We got 4 more wins.
Go try. You got free beer. Go ahead.
Yes.
So I interrupted you. So it's better than Cleveland.
So, and as far as opening a paintball park as well, Columbus seemed like the better move. It's more central location. The weather's a lot more mild. And also as far as the paintball community here, it's really strong, and it has even potential to become bigger. There aren't too many paintball parks in the state of Ohio, so it was a good fit in general. Plus I could be closer to my family and Mike Wolf, and
I mean, things do have its drawbacks, but yeah, being closer to him is kind of all right. Now wait a minute, so how did you guys meet? Was it through paintball?
Yes. Yeah, my dad ended up telling me in a newspaper that there was an opening for paintball park coming. I was like, shoot, let's go. Been playing paintball for probably 10, 15 years. I think I was actually one of the first people hired in, and I'm still probably the longest person aside from Dave who's been there, and haven't turned back since. It's been awesome.
So when you guys get together, explain, so you start this park. It's your vision to do this. But you've got to get people to have a shared interest in this as well. It can't just be, it's not like when you had, like, you might not be familiar with this, but like a Wyandotte Lake where you're just hiring people to work there for the summer and then cutting them loose, right? So you don't have to believe in water is fun. You just want a paycheck. Whereas you need people that really support what your vision is, right?
Yeah, it takes a very specific kind of personality to be a good fit. And I think what differentiates us from other paintball parks is we're really picky about who we hire. We don't just hire random people. And actually, I
This is before he met. Yeah, he didn't know me when he hired
This is
me.
a pure lie. Go on.
well, strong personalities work well. I mean, you're talking about, you might be hosting a 10-year-old's birthday party, you might be hosting a really rowdy bachelor party, or a bunch of college kids doing a fraternity outing or something like that. So you need a personality that can, make sure that mom is happy bringing her kids and she's having a good time, knowing her kids are safe and that the kids are having fun. Also, you have to manage, a bunch of super rowdy, teenagers or adults as well. Funny story about, so we opened this park and we needed referees, obviously. We put out, I don't even remember, probably just on Facebook to get people to come in and apply. And when we were hosting the interviews, I remember Mike's, because he showed up, and Mike's giant dude.
Yeah, he's a big dude with long hair and tats.
You're right.
But like in appropriate places, as far as we know.
Well, yeah, I think I know that there may be some hidden ones. But anyways, we were still building the park when I was hiring people. So we started hiring way before we opened. And Mike said, "Hey, I'm Mike. All of my brothers are the same size as me, and do you need help moving things?" And I said, "You're hired, and I want all your brothers' phone numbers too." Mike has like 10 brothers, I think. What do you have? Yeah. So that was the hiring process. That's how Mike and I met.
The other people so that's how you got Mike on board. But the other people that you've hired, are they kind of administrative people, or are they more? They have to do multiple functions.
So no, we're a really small company, but our employees they're referees. So they host the parties. They help us. We're always under construction. We're always adding new fields and stuff like that. So everybody that works there needs to be able to do pretty much every job that there is. There's a lot
kind of a cool thing.
It's a really cool job for a teenager. It's part time on weekends. I mean, Mike has a full time job. He helps us out. When we can get him. But for would you rather be making chicken fingers or hosting epic paintball parties every weekend? I think it's a no brainer when it comes to what job do you want as a kid. Mm-hmm. But you got to be a good fit also.
But so when you lay this out, because we can get into the maps and we're going to get into every piece of this park, but your vision for this when you started, what do you foresee? Do you foresee this kind of being like the new laser tag? Like in the 80s, that was a big craze, right? It was laser tag and kids running around indoors, but this is all outdoors.
It's all outdoors, 36 acres too, and which is pretty massive when it comes to paintball park size. My vision for starting it is a lot of paintball parks. There's different types of paintball. Okay, so you got if you wanted to come out and play, that's a certain type of play. We call those rec players, recreational players.
I'm pretty much a pro, but go on. Yeah.
So there's rec players, and that's the bread and butter. Like, you need to have a good rec presence to sustain. I mean, it's important to get new people into the sport. So we want to make sure when somebody comes out and plays for the first time, they have such a good time that they come back again, and then maybe they continue to becoming more of a competitive paintball player. So that's the other side of the sport is it's called X-ball or speedball. You might be familiar with that term.
Well, I saw some of it when I was researching about your place because I wanted to know, like, there are a lot of dedicated magazines and websites to this. Because when I was thinking, here's how I'm familiar with you guys. My daughter went with her Girl Scout troop.
Cool, awesome.
And she thought it was awesome except for when you get shot, which I was trying to explain. That's kind of how that works. Like, that's how you keep score. But she thought it was a cool thing because you could run around, you're outside, and you run around with that gun, and she thought it was
amazing
cool.
cardio, right?
Right. So she liked that part of it. It was what I thought was cool is why are these little 9 to 10-year-old girls doing this? And it turns out one of the women in there is kind of one of those, Arkansas moms who grew up in a trailer and moved to Columbus and thinks this is a good idea. But what was cool?
You don't need to live in a trailer to play paintball.
No, I'm talking about this one specific person living in a trailer, but that was what they did. And so the experience for them was it opened up a whole nother avenue for these girls who now want to go back. And in fact, she was at softball for the greatest team that's ever been assembled and talking to Wolfie about it. And she had such a great time. But it's a whole nother audience I would have never thought would have entertained it.
Sure. So there's something that probably helped. And I don't know what your specific part of your daughter did, but there's two types of paintballs now, which is different than, probably in the last 5 years. Yeah. It's called low impact paintball, which is basically the same sport that you play, same paintball guns and everything like that, but the paintballs are like half the size of regular ones. So they shoot a lot slower, way less impact when they splat on you. Now kids as young as 8 can play, but really even adults do the low impact for like their first time too. So that sort of opened a lot of doors to where, you know, oh, I don't want to get shot, might be hesitation. And, you know, regular paintball is pretty intense. That's what makes it fun. But the low impact is sort of the best of both worlds, especially for your first time.
And that's a newer thing?
It's a newer thing for the entire industry, and I think it's probably the best thing that's ever happened
It's
to
pretty
paintball.
brilliant because it gives people that entree to it.
Yeah,
that
yes.
I don't want to get hurt. Because
Right.
when you see it on TV or see it it always looks like, you know, you're waiting for that one scene where it's comedic that I'm going to shoot you from 2 feet away and this is going to hurt.
Sure.
And I think that takes it takes people time to think, like, is it really worth doing it?
Yeah, it's like, I compare it to like maybe going to a theme park, right? So you've got roller coasters. You're 8 years old, you're about to ride your first roller coaster. You're not going to go on the Millennium Force, your first roller coaster, because you will, you know, pee your pants. But you go on the corkscrew or something very mild, that's your low impact paintball. And then once you're like, wow, I love roller coasters, then you move up to, you know, the bigger ones, which would be regular paintball, maybe big games and scenario stuff, and then eventually maybe a tournament. So it's sort of like working your way up the roller coaster, you know, getting over your fear and then having a blast.
Who is your ideal person that you want to come? Is it Mike, who's hardcore? Well, this time I'm not joking about you. When I'm saying that, is it you want the kind of intermediate, I don't know about it, and I want to educate you and take you through it, or is it for you as a business owner, are you looking for the guys that want to be hardcore and play tournaments?
Sure. So again, what's a little bit unique about Level Up is that we have not only like the ability to cater to all different types of players, but we're on the high end of those abilities. So if you want to play hardcore, we have fully regulation, artificial grass, X-ball field, which is the competitive field.
Like AstroTurf?
AstroTurf, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it's really legit, and that's, you know, we can go into that maybe later, but, you know, that's how I got into the sport, is I used to travel all over playing tournaments. So we cater to the high-end tournament player, and we have one of the best facilities in the state, probably in the Midwest as well, as far as competitive paintball. Then we've got woods. So if you love to play paintball in the woods, we've got 6 acres of woods, and we've also got really big maps that are like just giant and intense, and we also have little kid stuff too. So as far as what's my ideal customer, is the same way that I got hooked when I was 10 years old. Is I want a 10-year-old to come in for his birthday party and have such a good time that he's obsessed with paintball instantly. So I got hooked. The whole reason I'm here and doing this is because when I was 10, somebody invited me to a paintball birthday party, and I went out and I shot the crap out of everybody. I did so good for no reason. I don't know, play video games, whatever, but I was good my first time. And nobody ever forgets the first time they play paintball. That's
right.
Like the best part about the adrenaline rush is that you ask anybody, even if they've only played once in their life, they will have their paintball story. Have you played? Oh yeah, I played once. I got shot in the butt, or you know, whatever happened. Then you never forget it. So that's kind of what business we're in, is creating that lifelong memory for a father to have with his son or whatever. But if you have an extra good time and you know you do make a good move and get a bunch of people, you never forget that moment. And for some people it just clicks, like, wow, I want to do this every weekend. That was so much fun. So
What I think is cool about it is, before you got here, we were sitting in the green room and I was talking to Mike about it. To know, first of all, when you call them maps,
yeah.
What is cool about that is I'm thinking of like when you're watching TV, and Call of Duty is like the biggest selling game other than like say Madden.
Yeah.
But everybody wants those maps, those new map packs. And did you call it that on purpose, or is that like a term in the industry?
No, I mean, most people call them like fields, I guess. But I call them maps on purpose to correlate.
Draw
what you're
in
saying,
more.
yeah.
Well, because that was immediately what I thought is, if I'm a person familiar with Call of Duty, it's, oh, I'm really playing Call of Duty, like the way it's laid out. So I want to play a different map every month or every 3
Yes.
weeks or whatever
Right.
it is. So where do those come from? Is that Mike is saying, hey, I drew this on a piece of paper, I think this map would look cool, or where does that come from?
We've had some of those.
Yeah, it's a collective. I mean, Mike and just our crew will come together, and what's great about our property is that we've got 36 acres. We're probably using, I don't know, maybe 50-60% of it right now. So once we clear up some budget, or if we are looking to promote like a bigger event or something like that, we say, okay, here's 500 feet by 500 feet. What are we gonna do next? And then we come together. And we might even ask some of the 10-year-old customers, like, hey, what video games you playing? What's cool right now? and then we kind of go from there. Sometimes, actually most of the time since we've started, is we'll come across a bunch of material for free.
Yes.
And then we say, okay, let's make a map of this stuff. So like one of Mike's buddies, for example, works for Official, and they said, hey, we've got a mountain of these 8-foot gigantic spools. You guys want them? We're looking to throw them away. And Mike called and said, yo, get over to Official right now. And there literally was a mountain. I mean, an 8-foot spool is kind of hard to put into words how big they are, but like,
well, it's also hard to get a hold of. It's not like they're just laying around. You wouldn't find it when someone's throwing out the recycling. Like, this is a massive structure that you've got to get.
Yes.
You got to pick it up and deliver it to yourself.
Yeah, you're not moving this by hand, right?
Yeah. So as soon as we got that word, we immediately, for like 2 weeks, we were doing trips with our trailer. We could take 3 at a time. And I don't know, there's probably 25 of them or something like that. So we were just hilariously driving down the road with, our trucks with a trailer with 3 8-foot spools on the back of it, looking so ridiculous. And so we just made trips, got them out of the park, and then we made a map out of them. So that's how our Coliseum map came out. Is they look like columns. We painted them white, and now we have the Coliseum.
Yeah, we were talking last Thursday about, or I think it was the Thursday before this.
Yeah.
I had to go to volleyball. Sorry. Sometimes things get in the way. But we were talking about the layout of the park and how you keep changing it. And so when I got online, I could see kind of the map or the picture of a map. Tell people, by the way, how they can see this stuff online that we're talking about.
The easiest way to find us is if you just Google Level Up Paintball, we'll show up. The company's called LVL Up Sports. Level is spelled LVL. So our website is lvlupsports.com, but if you Google Level Up Paintball, we come up. You'll see the big green triangle. That's our logo.
But I think it's important for people to see it, because unless I could describe it, Wolfie can describe it, but it doesn't do it justice until you actually see like the real picture of the park done. Like, I didn't even know that it was there.
The aerial photo?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I've driven by it probably 10 times.
Right.
But again, I didn't know what I was looking for.
Right.
But I've seen that field, and I thought, that'd be a good place to put something. Not knowing something was already there.
Sure.
So currently, what are you guys, we're in the fall. What are you guys looking at? Like, do you book up ahead of time? Is it kind of that thing where people are booking birthday parties on the weekends? Or how do people come to you?
Sure. So there's 2 different ways to play paintball. Number 1 is we have what's called walk-ons or open play. That's where you can show up any weekend, every Saturday and Sunday, sometimes during the week, like in the summertime, but for the fall, it's just Saturdays and Sundays. You show up by yourself or with 20 people, whatever you like, and we have different packages that all come with different amounts of paintballs and all the gear and stuff you need.
Oh, so they can, I saw it on the website, but they can get everything they need there. So if you're inexperienced, you can just walk right in.
Just show up in jeans and a t-shirt, and then we got everything you need, and we got basic packages, and you can upgrade your guns, you can get smoke bombs, like all kinds of crazy upgrades and stuff like that. You can get as hardcore as you want.
So it's really like war, but at the end of the day, you can go to Chick-fil-A.
Yes.
You can go to Chick-fil-A. It's right down the road. So that's one way to play, and that's what a lot of like fathers and sons will do. Hey, we're bored for a Saturday, let's go to the paintball park. You can just show up, no reservation, and then what we do is we mix all those players together to make one big group. So some people like, bigger the better, and when it comes to games, the more people to shoot at, usually the more fun it is. Just depending on what kind of experience you're going for.
It probably would be boring on all that space to go one-on-one and not find anybody for like 2 hours.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, one-on-one is and remember too that we've got 7 different maps now, so you only play games on that map. So it's not like one-on-one on 36 acres. It's on whatever size.
That's not how I'm doing it. I'm gonna hunt wherever I can.
You just hop.
I'll be on Orders Road. You'll never know. When you are doing these, have you ever had like office retreats? Do this?
100%.
Like, I would think that would be, especially if you could do employees versus bosses, but I would think that would be something that people would be interested in, because not necessarily that you have some anger towards somebody, but it would be a really cool thing, like a really cool bonding moment.
Oh yeah.
Sure. Well, like I said, nobody ever forgets the first time they play. So especially if you're the boss and you bring everybody to the paintball park and you want to do something that's not just happy hour or something that is totally monotonous and nobody cares about.
It's done 100,000 times.
Exactly. You come to the paintball park, and that will be the one team building thing where people will legitimately never forget it. And it's usually not like people coming out being like, "Oh, I'm gonna mess my boss up."
It's not malicious, right?
It's just you're in a crazy situation. We play different game types as well. So sometimes you play capture the flag. Sometimes you're just playing shoot the other team or whatever it is. But for team building, we play this game called Protect the President, which is really fun. So let's say boss is there with all of his employees. One team's job is to escort the boss, who has no gun, from one side of the map to the other, or to like some sort of objective point. And so it's just hilarious.
That is a really cool thing.
Yeah, and you know, maybe it's like upper management has to protect the president while the lower guys are trying to blast them.
Blast everybody.
Yeah, just what a hilarious scenario, and it's all in fun. You know, everybody just ends up, you know, they leave the field laughing, not like, oh man, shot him in the butt in fantasy.
It always is nice to shoot your boss, though.
Oh,
Especially when you're working for that boss.
And vice versa.
Right.
I wish I had a boss right now just so I could shoot at him.
I'll bring paintball guns the next day.
Well, so before we go to break, I want to ask you this question. So when you set this thing up, how have people found out about you? Is it word of mouth or?
Sure. So our first objective was to try to appeal to all of the existing paintball players in Columbus, which there are a ton of them. And I think that using social media, that really spread the hype around us opening and existing was just, oh man, a new paintball park's coming to town. There's not that many, you know, and when one of a substantial park like Level Up coming around really got a lot of the paintball players that maybe haven't played in a while because there's not a lot of places to play.
Or they don't want to take the drive somewhere else.
Right, exactly. So now they've got one very close. I mean, our park is 15 minutes from downtown, super close in Grove City. So that was our first goal, was appeal to the existing paintball players. And from there, I'm a big customer service guy. So a lot of good word of mouth came right off the beginning because, you know, when you got employees like Mike and all of our other guys, we're all like over the top, really nice. And like our goal is to make sure people have fun. And I think that goes a long way when it comes to hosting a birthday party. You have little Johnny's birthday party, has 10 kids, and then all of a sudden 3 more of those kids end up booking their birthday party when it's their turn.
Right.
So so far it's all been social media and word of mouth, and maybe once the park is complete, you know, we'll continue spreading the word. But you know, we're in the happiness business, so if you do a good job at that, people talk about it.
That's what I think is cool about what you're doing, is that it is you're operating it like a retail venture to make customers happy. It does not matter what the tool is that they're using.
Exactly.
It's no different than if you go to Apple, except you don't have to stand in long lines, right? But at the end of the day, it is, if they're satisfied, they're going to tell their friends, and it's going to get around. What's the saying? If they have a bad experience, they'll tell 10 other people.
Right.
And I've not heard anything negative about your place, other than my daughter saying she didn't like getting shot. That's her fault. She's in the field of play. But it's interesting that you kind of branched out and did this on your own. Like, you took that real life experience and brought it and did it for yourself. It's got to feel good that it's grown. Like, every day it's got to be growing a little bit more.
Oh yeah. I mean, when I wear my Level Up shirt out and I'm getting coffee or something like that, and then, or just like you said, your daughter, we just met today. Mm-hmm. Your daughter's been in the paintball park and she had a lot of fun. Like, that means a lot to me.
But and that's the word of mouth, is that she told me that. But what's funny is that other little girls talked about it as well, because she's still talking about it. She's still trying to get the leaders to take them back. And I thought, you're supposed to experience something once and kind of move on. And, you know, she went with her mom, and her mom was like, I would go back.
Yeah.
And that, our mom is kind of like a prissy, you know, she doesn't like to get dirty and all that, but she loves it. But again, that's what's cool, is like, you're setting this up probably in the beginning. You're looking for the guys like Mike that are hardcore, that they want to play on teams. Mm-hmm. But when you can get those people who are novice to it and they enjoy it, that's where you're going to grow.
Yeah. Hopefully they start their own team one day, just like Mike and I did when we were kids.
That is true. Well, I want to get into the team building after the break. I know we kind of talked about when companies come there, but I want to talk about why we were talking about so much about softball and why it applies to your thing as well. We're going to go to break. You're listening to the 101, brought to you by Whiteside Dodge Chrysler Jeep. Is there anywhere you want to go with this? Do you want to plug certain things?
Well, I guess you asked how you play, and I talked about the open play stuff, but we didn't really get to like the birthday party reservation.
I wrote that, so I want to get into that, but I want to go the direction you want to go.
We've got plenty of time.
Well, so the hardcore stuff it's very niche. So like,
we don't have to.
We can talk about that there is like a goal of like being on a team and playing tournaments, but I definitely would like to plug. We've got 3 big events in October.
Perfect.
One of which is the biggest bounce house in the world is coming October 5th, 6th, 7th. So that's just a random collab. That's awesome for kids. So I definitely want to talk about that.
That's coming to your place?
Yeah.
That giant bound house?
Have you seen it before?
No, it's 614 Columbus. I get
Yeah.
emails from them Monday through Friday. You know, different things going on around Central Ohio. And I saw a story on the news about it. Hey, this giant bounce house is coming, and I got like a niece and nephew here in town. Are like, oh man, we want to go see that.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, aren't you a bit old for that? You're like in middle school.
Well,
38 years
let's
old.
talk
They
all
really
about
wanna
that.
go.
'Cause it's cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
it's actually
I've seen
pretty
stories on that, and I thought, yeah, those things must be huge.
It's for adults
Like
too.
what, 10 times as big as the normal bounce house or whatever.
It's bigger than an entire.
It's
paintball
bigger than
field.
that, yeah.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's mind blowing.
Holy cow!
Well,
It's almost a
just-
full acre
Yeah.
when it's blown up. It's massive.
Do you have to set
acre?
that, or do they actually?
Damn!
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
It's a cool story. I like talking about it.
That's
And then,
gigantic.
yeah,
I
the-
can't
It's
imagine.
massive, yeah.
I've seen
in,
bounce houses, but you know,
Right, yeah.
normal ones as
in,
big as this room.
We're doing like
Oh, yeah,
zombie
this is-
paintball hunting for
100 times
Halloween
bigger.
time.
Yeah.
So we can talk about that. And then the last thing is that also in October, we're hosting what's called a big game, which is a little bit more on the hardcore side, but it's not competitive. It's
What
It's
is
just
my
it?
specialty.
it's called a big game. So
A big game or big game?
um,
I just want to know how it's phrased because they go to the website and I don't want
It's just a big game.
to.
You got two teams, but anybody that shows up is going to be on those teams. So you're going to have 300 people with 100 people on each team, but every map is open.
yeah,
So it's your whole
we try
park
to
is
get-
open, and yeah, it's a lot of.
we try to get as many people to play on the same
That's
day as
awesome.
possible.
So here's what we'll do.
Okay.
When we're going to come back from break, just tell them again how they can get a hold of you. Do you want to send them to the website or do you want them to call?
Okay.
So we'll send them to the website. So I'm going to say we got these 3 big events coming up. Just don't, we have plenty of time. So
Okay.
really detail what those 3 things are. And then we'll go into birthday parties, zombie paintball, and
Zombie
game.
paintball.
Yeah,
you guys
wow.
would have fun. It's actually pretty cool. Basically, like Call
For
of Duty
folks who love the
Zombies.
zombie
Well,
apocalypse.
that's a
Yeah.
new, I thought.
It's like a haunted
Yes,
house that you
it's-
shoot the
it's
people that
almost-
scare you.
Ah, paintball haunted house. Hey, wow, sounds pretty cool.
Okay.
You know when you go to a haunted house and you want to hit somebody because they come out and scare you? You
I
can actually
hosted
shoot
it.
people that
For
do
the
that,
radio
so-
station used to sponsor a couple back in the late '80s. Since I've worked here a long time, I went and like hosted a couple of years in a row. Went and we were able to go through it. And I thought, okay, because I don't get real scared easily. I know it's fake, but I thought, okay, this is pretty cool. This is going to scare some people.
Mhm.
So haven't been there in a while. Been about 30 years, but it was like '88, '89. Went and kind of drove the station vehicle over there and was kind of the host of a haunted house thing. I don't even remember where it was, but it was fun.
I was waiting for you to do your thing where you go, it was at Sharky's Bar. Like you say, I don't know where it was. And then you
It was
throw
somewhere up in southern Delaware County.
Out. Oof. That's terrible.
Yeah. Now, Mike, are you originally from Grove City?
Oh yeah.
South end of Columbus, but very shortly.
Oh,
I got
okay,
adopted.
like,
and moved
It's
there.
the
and you went to
same
Grove City
thing.
High School or South High Bulldogs or?
It was Grove City
Oh, okay.
and Central. I graduated from the Tech Center. We don't tell too many people that, but
It still counts.
Grove City.
No,
right?
that was-
If you spend one day in the high school, you're a Grove City.
I grew up about 2 miles this way here in what I like to call Up Your Arlington, and we went down to watch a UA Grove City football game when I was my senior year, fall of 1980. And I think it might have been a tie game or UA. We might have beaten Grove City by like 7 points, and it was just pouring down rain the entire
It was
game.
back when Grove City was actually good.
One thing I remember about Grove City, and I told Mike this. Thing I remember about Grove City, the gymnasium, that the horn, when they sound the horn,
Oh, yeah.
the basketball games, that thing will render you deaf. It is so
That's the
loud.
thing they use for boats during the fog to let
Right,
you know
yeah.
the land is coming.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, that just always sticks out in my memory more than anything about Grove City High School. That on Hoover Road, that loud horn. So my sister played girls basketball at UA, my younger sister, and I used to go to some of her games. And here comes
yeah.
that horn. It's loud.
And I don't miss about high school.
You need to get one of those
Alright.
for the park.
Right.
I'm good when you are, Jimmy.
We ready to roll? Okay, here we go.
Welcome back to the 101, brought to you by Whiteside Dodge Chrysler Jeep. Still here with the boys from Level Up. Can you guys let them know, again, we covered the website briefly, but if you want to see the maps or any of the information about the events got coming up, Dave, go ahead and let them know.
Just throw Level Up Paintball into Google, and we'll pop right up. That's all you gotta do.
I want to go back to the events you have currently coming up. So, you said during the break you have 3 big events going on. But then after that, you gave me 5 more. So let's just concentrate. Let's do the 3 that you want to cover right now, the most immediate.
Sure. Well, a very random and cool event that's coming October 5, 6, and 7, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, is the world's biggest bounce house is coming to Level Up in Grove City. So it actually, we were going to host it about a couple weeks ago, like 3 weeks ago, and they set it all up, and there was a lot of hype around it, and then it poured rain for the entire weekend, and they had to cancel. So we're not, it's not our bounce house. It's basically this company. It's like a traveling circus, but their circus is a gigantic bounce house, and they just go around all over the country making cool stops along the way. And they reached out to us and said, hey, we like, they saw our aerial shot, and they're like, I see some grass we could use over there, and can we bring this bounce house to Level Up? And I said, of course, sounds cool. I didn't really realize, very quick phone call, yeah, sure, bounce house, sounds great. And then I started researching it, and then when they blew this thing up for the first time, I mean, it is bigger, what Mike said, it's like an acre, but it's 100 by 100 of just one of the bounce.
Yeah, I don't think
things.
anyone's going to understand the scale of this thing, about how big. Like we were talking about it during the break, and I'm just trying to picture that is like who would go in. Like it's like everyone could go in there.
Yeah, it's like bigger than a basketball court. I mean, it's unbelievable.
It looked about 2 or 3 basketball courts.
And how long will it be? Is it all weekend long, or just a certain day? Or
yeah, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the way they do it, it's kind of cool. So it's like a bounce village. So they got the giant one, and then they got some other little kiddie games and stuff like that. But they sell tickets by the hour, and like they keep all the ticket money. So we're just kind of hosting it because we thought it'd be cool for the community and kids and stuff like that. So it's by the hour, but each hour is a different age group. So like Saturday morning is younger kids, so toddlers, and that way you don't have like teenagers bouncing at the same time as young kids. So it goes up a little bit with age throughout the day. So by the end of the day, it's adults only on a bounce house that is gigantic. So that could get rowdy for sure.
Especially in Grove City.
Especially in Grove City.
I'm just
and
thinking of all our hooligan friends that'll probably be in that thing.
Yeah, and what's crazy is that it's literally big enough to where you will feel like a kid when you're on it. I jumped in there just to take like Instagram videos and stuff, and I was like, this is amazing. There's a DJ in the middle of it, and imagine if you're 5 years old, but like he'll play like the Macarena, and then at the at the big part of the song, he shoots out confetti everywhere and like sprays bubbles and foam, and it's
so
like
this is kind of like those rave parties for children, and then it gets the older crowd can come in later.
Yeah,
it's a gateway.
So it's not just like a bounce house. Like
it's a party.
You're not from Grove City, but you might remember this. Like they used to do this big festival where it was the Balloon Festival.
Yeah.
And you know what? It was over as soon as things got in the air. This is an all-day, all weekend event.
Yeah, for sure, and good for kids and teenagers and their parents and anybody else. I mean, we're thinking that people will be playing paintball all day, see the thing, and then just walk over there and start bouncing.
So they'll still be able to play paintball.
Yeah,
so this isn't going to eat up. I mean, you have so much area that it's not going to eat it up, but they could come back later.
Yeah, we tucked it in the furthest corner we could away from all the maps and stuff like that. So it's going to be, it'll be a fun weekend. Parking will be interesting.
Can you tell them the dates of that?
So that's October 5th, 6th, and 7th, and you get tickets. You actually don't get tickets from us, but we do have links to get the tickets from our website. If you go to like events, you'll see Big Bounce America. Or if you just Google Big Bounce America Columbus, or World's Biggest Bounce House, or anything like that, then their website comes up, and then you get tickets right from them.
This is a really cool thing for you guys to be hosting, especially for them to reach out to you. It's not like you guys reach out to them.
Yeah, I would have never thought. We need the biggest bounce house in the world at Level Up soon.
That's what I was thinking is, who would have that idea to go, you know what we really need? A lot of inflatables.
Yeah.
There's not enough inflatables at this park.
Right.
So that's one event that you've got coming up, and so again, it's the 5th, 6th, and 7th. You had another event that's coming up pretty soon too.
Sure. So one event we actually don't. It's not really official on our website yet. We're going to be making the announcement probably this week. But we're doing what's called a big game. Big game paintballs are amazing, and there's people that travel to big games at most fields host one big game a year, and there's people that go like Mike that will travel to different Chicago, Pennsylvania, wherever, and just hit the big games once a year at these fields. What a big game is in paintball is you try to get everybody, all of your customers, all of your regulars, and people from out of state even, to all come to your park on the same day. So that's what the big game is how many people can we get playing against each other at once? And what we do is we shut the park down to walk-ins and stuff and birthday parties, and we open up every map together so that you're playing on the entire property, which is cool. We only do it once a year. So rather than, playing on a 500 by 500 map, you're playing on 20 acres at once with one team starting in one corner, and you respawn and the games go nonstop all day long. Last year, Mike had this epic moment where, we had like an objective. You had to take this big ammo box, and it had a bomb in it, and you had to deliver the bomb into our big castle. And it was, the game was like an hour and a half long, and Mike was shirtless, had the ammo box in his hand, and like literally was like 10 steps away.
He was Rick Grimes. He saved everyone.
No, I failed.
I failed.
It was very
If
close.
I had about 3 seconds, I would have had it.
3 seconds later, you had it,
sucked.
but the time ran out. But
to be fair, he showed up in the parking lot here without a shirt. And that is not a joke.
Literally, first shirt
He honked at me. He said it was hot in his car and his shirt off. So I think Mike just doesn't have
60 degrees
shirts.
out.
Yeah. You played these in other cities then? These big games?
Different states. Been all over.
So they're all different, right? But what? I mean, is it? Do you feel like you show up, like in our softball leagues and all? We know everybody. When you go to another city, do you go with a team or you don't?
Yeah, usually you're going to want to go with a lot of your good friends that play, and like we've got a core group that we started, Level Up Legends, and that's most of the guys who started out working for Level Up, and now they play for Level Up in one way, one fashion or another. But we've gone to Chicago for a Living Legends event, and that field was 120 some acres, and we took 12 of us maybe.
It was 1,000 versus 1,000. It's insane.
But that's such a cool concept.
Huge.
But how do you keep track of what is going on? Because there's got to be things going on around.
It's coordination. It's a lot on your refs, and in this business, your refs are key. I mean, they hold everything together. If you can't trust them, you don't even need a part. I mean, they're key. But so everybody has walkie-talkies. They've got a board posted, so every flag capture you get is worth points. If you hold down a certain area, there's secret objectives. Like you can find, like how our game we had ammo crate, and it's like 80 pounds, 120 pounds. Normally it takes 2 guys to get it and walk with it.
Normally. You probably put it in your pocket.
Right, yeah. And I threw my gun down and took off with it, shirtless, across the field. But
so it's like you don't need a team,
no,
but it's
you
better.
Absolutely don't need to.
It's like a party kind of. Like you want to go with all your friends,
right?
And go out and try to shoot as many people as you can as like a squad.
It sounds like the coolest tailgate you could have.
It's honestly, yes, that is honestly what it feels like.
Yeah,
you camp out.
Yep.
It's cool.
Yeah, we brought a grill. We had a few drinks in between games. I mean, it goes all day, but we will take our break when we want it or need it. Usually it's when you're out of paint, because big games like that, if you're any good, we go the whole day, didn't even get shot. But you're watching people just run right in front of you, and with 1,000 people to shoot at, you're going to be racking up a lot of kills. I mean, it's actually a bias.
Is that frustrating for people? Is that the biggest thing they have is I can't shoot anybody?
Sometimes, but when you go to big games, like I've taken my kids, and they've been 8, 9, 10. When they've gone, they shoot people. I mean, it doesn't really matter how good you are with that many people. I'd like to think you can get a kill. I mean, shoot somebody. I don't know.
I mean, in Chicago, you talk about something
right,
different, but in this one, you just mean a paintball kill.
Yes.
When you're doing that, though, I mean, there's got to be that exhilaration of what you're getting into, right? So these big games.
Yeah, that's. I started playing tournaments last year, and actually played with Pando in a 2v2 in a tournament, but that was always my thing. Big games, we did scenarios. There's mag-fed only events, so you only have magazines that you only hold 15, 20 rounds at best, and you actually compete for different objectives. I mean, there's all kinds of things, but I feel like the big games is what brings you and your group close because of the things that you endure and go through and accomplish. Now, whether you want to do objectives and get, say hold one area down, or get a objective and bring it back to your base, or if you just want to go and just shoot people all day long, that is a blast as well. So I mean,
but that's what's really cool about it, because, and again, Dave, the reason you're here is because I was so interested in hearing Mike describe this, because I had never done it, and I was thinking of this from the end of like if you owned it. What excites me is when somebody has a passion about something. Like that's what this show's all about. It is about promoting people's business, but it's really about tell people why you started. Like you guys are so, your eyes light up when you're talking about this. It's not like you know, I've had somebody in here that has like an accounting business, and I literally wanted to hang myself because I'm like, I
Right.
can't talk about Excel spreadsheets anymore because they're not excited about it. But you guys are very into this, and it shows by the way you talk about it. I kind of cut you off there, but I just had to know how those big hunts or big games work. So can you tell the date of the big game is what again?
So October 21st, which is a Sunday, that'll be the all-day game, and then Saturday night we're gonna do kind of like night game and some of that mag-fed stuff that Mike was talking about, and then we encourage people to come camp out. It's gonna be free camping, so that's sort of the goal. You either travel or you come out. Everybody hangs out the night before, and we all just swap stories and and talk and just hang out. And then right when the sun comes up the next day, everybody's all pumped, everyone gears up, and then it's just giant games all day long.
Do they have to be there at a certain, like, is it 9 o'clock, or can they come as the day is going on?
It's up to you. I mean, it's better to be there for the full day just to get the whole experience. I mean, it's not too much more expensive than our normal price is, so it's basically, like I said, our goal is just to bring everybody there on the same day. The people that maybe play once, twice a year, make sure that that's the day that they come out, dust off the dust from their paintball gun in their closet or whatever, and we just want to have a big, awesome, fun day for everybody.
It's cool that you created an event, like a 1 day out of the year event, like you don't want to miss it kind of thing.
Right.
Because you've created an experience for people that it doesn't matter how good you are. It is come on, come on.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's almost like a country concert. You can know one artist on
Oh,
the bill,
yeah.
one song.
Sure.
You're coming for the whole day, but you leave there going, I love country music because you camped out there all day. You were a part of the whole thing.
Right.
And can they sign up online for this, or?
Yeah, like I said, sign up for that is about to go live. So as long as you go to our website and if you follow us on Instagram or Facebook, again, just search LVL Up Sports, you'll find us. We'll be putting out the big flyer for that here pretty soon.
Okay, cool. And then we're up against a break, but we're going to hit your other events when we come back. You are listening to 101, brought to you by Whiteside Dodge Chrysler Jeep. Sorry, Jimmy, I had to break real quick because I didn't have enough time to...
No, that's all right. That's all right. You just got to you had to write down the Whiteside.
Yeah, because it's Whiteside Dodge Chrysler Jeep, not Whiteside Auto Sales. So I have to say...
Oh, it's not Whiteside Auto Sales.
Right, but that doesn't sound right. Dodge Chrysler Jeep doesn't sound right. It feels like it should be like...
Whiteside Dodge Chrysler Jeep.
It's a mouthful of Whiteside.
It's harder to say
What
than
about
the
Dodge
old...
Ram? Isn't there always a Dodge Ram in there too?
The old sponsor, it's easier to say. It just rolled off the tongue.
Oh,
a lot
yeah, the
easier.
other one was...
Lincoln Wallace.
Yeah, and I would always go, you're listening to... Brought to you by Lincoln Financial. Damn it.
Like Lincoln Financial Field, he would think of.
Well, that's where he got the name. He thought Lincoln, it sounded like something else, and I was like...
And Abe Lincoln, honest Abe.
Sure.
He had a million reasons. I was
Always
like,
a good
that's
name.
not easy for me.
I thought he
share
got
the
it
same
from Lincoln,
birthday,
Nebraska.
Lincoln.
I know. See, I thought Madison was from Lincoln, Nebraska, and that's where he got it
That
from.
makes sense. All right, so we covered bounce house, big games, so zombie paintball. I want to get into birthday parties.
Sure. How many more? How are we doing?
We're good. Jimmy, what do we
About
have?
13 more minutes, something like that.
So we have
Right around
Birthday parties and zombies is
12, 13, 14 more minutes.
I was gonna
Zombie
talk about,
birthday parties.
the partying that goes on at big games.
I know. I don't
No,
want to
no.
say. Yeah, everyone just bullshits around.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Whatever,
Streaking on the field.
Yeah, but I think we're getting the message out that it is for everyone. It's not just
Sure.
Right.
the
You guys
pro.
should come. What are you doing? 21st.
Thank you.
There you go. You're welcome.
What is the 21st of October? I don't even know. I only know a week at a time. If it's not, well, because Mia has volleyball, so we'll go to
Oh, yeah.
Circle Bill
Oh yeah, you should bring her.
Saturday. She loves it. I would take her in a minute.
Oh.
She loved it. and
She loving the
loves that
volleyball?
He works there.
Yeah.
So she was just hearing me talk to him, and it was a big deal because he works there. I'm like, he's not the guy that wears like the Scooby-Doo head at the park. I mean, he actually hangs out there.
Well, for the big game, you can follow him shirtless. You can
Some of
watch
the girls
us
rub body
being
glitter
the
on
back.
His
Which
daughter
is what the
Yeah.
looks like she's
Yeah, well,
about
that
5
was
years
the
older
funniest
than she
thing. He
actually
pulled
is.
up
Just because
shirtless,
she's
and I
so
was like,
tall.
Tall.
What?
Yeah, she's a nice
See
kid.
that too?
First time I met her, I'm like, you're
Oh,
in
yeah.
like what, high school?
She's
It's
11
like, no,
and she's
I'm
5.
10 years old. I'm like, oh my
Yeah, that's what I
goodness.
said. Your daughter. my
She's
daughter
so
go.
tall. though.
Tommy said, because he saw the video of her playing ball or whatever, he goes, what grade is she in? I was like, she's like in 6th grade. And he wasn't standing next to her, and then he did like a double take, like, God damn.
Yeah, because she's very tall.
They say she's gonna be 6'3". I hope she's 6'8". That'd be awesome.
Right.
6'8".
I'll still dunk on her at 50 cents. And I don't mean just tip dunk. I mean double rim.
How tall are you? You're about 6'3"?
I'm a little over 6'1",
Got
so
it.
she's gonna tower over me. It's gonna be awesome.
You'll do the Shaquille O'Neal dunk on her.
Yeah, but she's
Right.
like,
Down the
she's
backboard.
like brutally strong. My ex-wife is 5'8". Hopefully she's shrinking away.
Where did that come from?
Well, we got married. Oh, you mean why?
Why she's 2 inches taller
His
than
grandparents
you.
are
Right,
8
yeah.
feet tall.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm the biggest person in my whole family. I don't know where it's coming
I'm
from.
the smallest.
Listen, I want her to be bigger than him. I want her to be
You
bigger
seen
than
like
him.
Mike and all his brothers in
No.
the same place?
No.
It's ridiculous. It's like they're the offensive line of the Browns or something.
like the Gronkowski brothers,
yeah.
Yeah.
You're the
all
tiny
big
type.
guys.
Yeah.
How did you guys not? Did they all? They went to Grove City and Central, or?
So I was the first graduating class from Central.
Okay.
So my older brothers graduated from Grove City. I got a diploma from Grove City and Central and the Tech Center. They just messed up.
Cool.
the paperwork.
Triple graduate.
Exactly.
3 diplomas.
Yeah, and
Impressive.
then my younger 2 brothers that got adopted into our family went to Central.
Got it. Did they play ball there?
Well, my younger, biggest brother played for, I think, a season and was done because it was a new program. Wasn't
Oh,
doing
yeah.
much of anything. And then he started playing the saxophone.
Well, that's the natural progression.
Nice.
Right, yeah.
How big is
You're
your
6'6",
biggest brother?
360.
Oh
Let's
my
play saxophone.
God.
Right?
What?
I don't get it.
6'3", 6'4",
I think he's
big
doing that to
saxophone
see if
player.
someone will like make fun of him so he could fight him or eat
Oh,
him.
still to this day, nobody messes with me or my brothers. They're just, everybody's big or they're crazy. So it's
Well,
one or the other.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell Jade that guy was making fun of her and she can fight him. And we'll put it on TV.
I'm watching.
Like old school UFC.
Right. I think my brother would like it.
Yeah, I mean he'd get choked out real quick, but it'd be cool.
I would be happy
We'll
with
make it
that, too.
pay-per-view.
Yes.
Exactly.
Put on by Morris
Put it
Media
on
Productions.
Facebook Live
Yeah.
at the field.
Yes.
That'd be
I'm down with that. Yeah, I don't know if he wants that
Whatever.
publicity.
Hey, no, if it goes viral,
If it goes viral,
She
awesome.
has to have the championship belt or it doesn't count.
I'll
Yeah.
make the belt. I'll be in charge of the belt.
That'd be amazing. Oh, are there like trophies like that?
Yeah, so I mean, if the competitive side, there's certain
I'm
tournaments and
talking about like
trophies.
the amateur stuff or.
For the big game, no, we didn't do it. We are going to do patches. I didn't even tell anybody
Yeah,
yet.
we've
but I
got.
I think that
Oh,
would
that's
be really
sweet.
dope
Yeah.
to do that.
We go to
Dude,
Indiana
I
and we
can't
get
afford
plaques and stuff.
300 trophies.
No, that's not what I mean. I'm talking about not everybody gets one. I hate everybody gets a trophy. What I'm
Everybody gets a
talking about
trophy.
is
Phooey.
like when the
Yes,
Girl
thank
Scouts
you.
they get an achievement thing
Mm.
that you guys don't have to provide, but
Gotcha. So like the
there's a way to
MVP of
get-
your birthday
yeah,
party.
There's a way to get some sponsorship
Oh.
where someone covers all that stuff.
Cool.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it would be cool to whatever it was, like whether it was Whiteside Auto or whatever. Like there's a trophy for if they're gonna participate. Not that you get a trophy because you came,
But if you
but
kill
you
it.
come 10 times and here's your record. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah. That'd be
Here's
You
your
want a job,
recognition.
Mike?
Right, yeah.
we could work on that. Because I think, well, I'm just saying, if you have an incentive for people to come out there repeatedly, that's what you want.
Sure.
So we'll talk about that.
I hear you.
All right, so I'm gonna come back and we're gonna go into birthday parties, zombie paintball, because it's a natural tie-in. Scary.
Yeah, why not?
All right, Juan, I'm
Ready?
ready. Welcome back to the 101, brought to you by Whiteside Dodge Chrysler Jeep, something that I will never get used to saying. So, boys, again, just to recap, we got the guys from Level Up here. We got Dave and Mike. Can you, Dave, give them one more time the website for all these events we're talking about, and just to see the maps in general that you have on there?
Open Google, level up paintball,
Or
you're
get
good
on-
to go.
Or get on Bing. Does
Bing?
anyone use Bing anymore?
No.
I do.
Are you on Hotmail, Mike? I have a feeling.
Yeah.
I have a
He's on
feeling you have a
AOL.
common
Hey, well, yeah,
sense.
I still have an AIM account.
Shut up, you do.
You've
No.
got mail.
That's amazing. I'm gonna send you a MySpace. friend
We're on
Um,
MySpace.
I've been trying to get on that to see old pictures.
You know
of
what would
me.
be funny is I would like to see if somebody could get on their MySpace account to actually promote like an event and see if someone showed up. Like free admission. I don't care what it is. The Ohio State game, whatever. Free admission if you can print this off your MySpace.
Yeah.
There's got to be somebody on there.
I'm trying it. I'm logging back in.
That would be
Right.
amazing.
It's gonna
What if that was like your
creep me
number
out,
one
though.
lead source? Like everyone's like,
MySpace.
I've
I
been
kind of hope
waiting.
nobody does because I got some
Yeah,
scary
my-
pictures.
That was the times where social media was just for us.
think my hair
that
was every
before
other
it was.
That was the
Right,
wild, wild
yes.
west of
Yeah.
social media. Now you got to watch everything you
right.
post.
Yeah.
I did find the trailer for the new X-Men movie, and so I'm like, I'll be cool and I'll just tweet this so people can see it. I got so much hate mail. What is this? This is fan made. You're a piece of garbage. And I'm like, well, I guess we won't be MySpace or Facebook friends. I'm like, I'm just trying to do a service to the community. So we've learned not all marketing is good marketing.
Right.
Okay. But as far as marketing birthday parties, that's what I want to get into. See how that, Mike? See how I naturally went right into that?
Roll right into it.
Nice segue.
We have talked about even one likes it. We have talked about how this your level up is not just for the pros, and it's not it's not for aggression. Birthday parties. Let's talk about that a little bit before we're done today. Give me an example of what a birthday party would be at your place.
Sure. So first step is you go to our website, and we got a couple different party packages you pick from. They all come with 10 players included, or you can go up to 100 players, whatever you want. But you make a reservation because we're going to bring in a ref just for your group. So let's say you book a party for Saturday at noon. You show up. We got a little waiver you fill out. And once we are finished with the waiver, we give you your equipment, explain all the paintball safety rules, and you meet your referee for the day. So that's why it's so important that the personalities of the people we hire is because your referee is going to be hanging out with you for the entire 2 or 3 hours, which is a good thing, unless you're terrible. But we don't hire terrible people. So we only hire the good guys and girls. Yeah. So our refs are all really awesome, and they explain the rules, and then basically it's like, okay, you got 10 people, so we'll split up into 2 different teams for the first game. A red team and a blue team, and then we'll go to one of the 7 maps for first game. Usually we start off on one of the smaller fields just to get warmed up and get everybody, acclimated with how a paintball gun works and stuff.
Right.
So you play a game, and then after every game you come off the field and we got to reload and refill your air tanks. So you play a game or 2 on one map, you come off, reload, everybody, I got you, no, and then, okay, birthday boy or girl, what map do you want to play next? They say, we want to go into the woods, so then we'll take you into the woods for a game or 2. Come back, okay, now I want to go to the castle, we'll take you to the castle for a game or 2, and you just repeat as many times as you can in the 2 or 3 hours. And then afterwards, the car rides home are usually very loud, and usually for another week or 2, everyone's talking about paintball, especially when it's kids. So I usually tell the moms, after I see 10 of the happiest kids ever after their paintball party, I'll go, all right, I'll see you around Christmas time, see you on the holidays for birthday presents and presents.
Oh, because you guys do gift cards or?
Yeah, gift cards, and we
sell
sell all
open
the gear
rain
too.
or shine, right? So you're still open.
Snow,
Rain or shine year round
awesome.
too. Yeah,
That's got to be awesome to play in the snow.
It is, and we're the only park that stays open year round, which is to me a no-brainer. I mean, first of all, winters are usually pretty mild around here, but I see it as, listen, if you can go skiing or snowboarding, you just wear those same outfits to the paintball park, and if anything, it's great because you're basically a giant pillow, and the paintballs just bounce off of you anyway. So it's as long as you can be warm outside, then come out and play paintball. It's awesome.
When people during the winter, I don't want to get off of birthday parties, but I'm just curious about this because I'm thinking of when you're taking pictures for social media, and all, that's got to look really cool. The tracks in the snow and all that kind of stuff.
Blast.
Is that? I would think people would want to get their kids out of the house.
Totally.
Especially in the snow.
You would think, yeah.
Well, those
That's
days
what
where
we
it's
do.
it's 31 degrees, so we can't have people waiting at the bus stop, and they're sitting at home and they're doing nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas there's no putt-putt, there's no, they don't have a way to do laser
Maybe
tag
movies or
inside.
something, right.
Well, there's nothing, especially in that Grove City area.
Yeah.
Right.
You got over 33,000 people that live in that area, and if their kids are home, what are they doing?
Totally. We're open year round, man.
It's such a cool thing to think about doing. I would have done that.
If you're new to playing, period, since you've never played, if you're worried about getting shot, winter is probably one of the better times to go. You wear a Carhartt or you start bundling up. You don't feel that impact. So
I feel like you're calling me a coward. I just haven't had
I
the
play
opportunity.
shirtless, so I'm the wrong person to ask when it comes to something like that. So
I'm shirtless, so that's not out of the realm of possibility. I just was curious about, again, what's cool about you opening this is there was nothing like this. In fact, there is no duplicate. It's not like there's another movie theater. You know what I mean?
No, right.
It's a one-of-a-kind thing. But we didn't have that when I was growing up. Someone would have a paintball gun, one, and when you take turns, just run around the neighborhood and not see if I can hit you.
Yeah.
You
Your
actually
little brother.
organized it, and you're charging people to do it.
Little
So that's a good thing.
Right.
We get that a lot. We get a lot of people that, we get a lot of people that just thank us. Grove City people thank us. Thanks for bringing this here. Now I got something to do with my kid that's really easy on a weekend. We get a lot. I've gotten hugs from moms that say thank you, so I don't have to drive an hour to go play. Well, they just are happy they don't have to drive anymore. Their
Yeah,
kids already play
next
paintball, but they
closest
would have
place
to
is an
drive
hour
all
away,
over
right?
the state to
Well,
play.
even if you look at like laser, there are 2 laser tag facilities, but they're both up north. So if you're a Grove City kid, you're going 40-some minutes, and so are all your guests.
Sure. Yeah.
But you're stuck in that building.
Yeah.
You know, so you're stuck
Yeah.
to that one
Yeah.
course that doesn't change. This is something that has multiple different things you can do.
Yep.
You know, it's funny too. Like, so shout out to all the moms out there, but we basically become like a daycare sometimes because moms will just drop their kid off at 10 a.m. on a Saturday with a bunch of paintball money and just say, "Okay, bye," and then now we host them playing paintball all day, which is awesome, but. Mom hits Stringtown Road, does all of her shopping, and then just picks the kid up at 5.
I was thinking about Black Friday.
Yeah.
Like, I would have, if I was you, I might open my own park now that I have this idea. If it was Black
Shut
Friday.
the interview down.
Right.
Yeah, there it is now.
Yeah, he's going to run back and try to, like, put it on the website.
Right, yeah.
But that Black Friday, everybody's up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Not that they need to come out and paintball, but they could get dropped off that day.
No,
Sure.
we were open.
We were so busy last year
Yeah.
because we do a big pro shop sale too. So anybody that wants to get the paintball gear for the holidays, that's the day. That's where you save all your money getting paintball.
I
Big
was just
pro
thinking
shop
if
sale,
you
but
could do the
game
pro shop,
show.
but then you can run out and play. Like
We did.
You can be
Yeah,
there all
so-
day.
It was good weather
That
last
was my
Friday.
idea, Mike.
Hey,
First of all,
high five.
even
You're
though
brilliant.
even
You're
though that you
brilliant.
already did it, I came
I
up with it post.
Start your own business. We're taking off, brother.
That's right. I'm gonna call it leveled down.
That'll really go well.
So before we run out of time, we covered birthday parties. There's something really cool that I think you gotta talk about, and it's the zombie paintball.
So yeah, the last grand finale is zombie paintball, which you may have heard about it before, but we do it a little bit different than most other places. Our zombie paintball is like a haunted house, but where you get to shoot at the people that scare you, at the zombies.
Yeah, Mike said something like that during the break, but it wasn't exactly that nice. But yeah, go ahead.
So imagine, our park gets pretty cool and creepy at night when there's a lot of stars out and we set up some lights out there. But last year we had a whole scenario you had to act out where you had to get the serum, save a doctor and his daughter, and you had to walk through these different, the different maps, but they were all lit up with tiki torches and they were really creepy. And then as you were walking through these different places, zombies were coming at you from all different sides. So you had to remove the horde so you could deliver this serum. But it's you're wearing full, you have a paintball gun in your hand, you're wearing goggles, and you're basically acting out like a crazy scenario where there are zombies
Like
around.
The Walking Dead.
It's like The Walking Dead,
Yes.
but real life, and it was way more successful than we thought. I mean, we promoted it. We sort of promoted it. It was sort of like our first kind of trial year. So this year we're gonna definitely go a lot bigger. But talk about. I mean, this isn't a haunted house, which you've done a million times, where you just walk around. I mean, this is something where you have the adrenaline of paintball. You're not getting shot at, but you are getting scared. But you get to sort of, you get to fight back. And last year, our feedback was really good. We did get some feedback that was a little bit too scary for the younger kids. So this year, something new we're doing is we're going to offer a kid-friendly version, which is just basically going to be a shooting range with zombies in it, where it won't be very scary. It'll be good for like 5 to 10-year-olds. We made one kid pee his pants. Yeah.
And it was Mike.
It wasn't Mike, but it was pretty exciting. So yeah, haunted house with paintball guns coming soon, and also something more kid-friendly. Yeah, you want to come?
Yeah. Just to shoot at kids, though.
You're going to be a
honest.
zombie.
Oh yeah, I totally would do that. But I'll be that zombie who's on break. Just so I'll get to you in a minute. And in the last couple of minutes we've got going here, before we have to end it, what's your vision for this moving forward? Like, what do you see this level up being?
Sure. So at the very least, we want to be the best paintball park in the Midwest. We have the land to become so. Our property is 36 acres of an 80-acre plot, so we actually have a lot of room to expand into in the future. But for now, our goal is to max out, the room that we've got and offer the very highest end of paintball experience, whether you're a first-timer, 8-year-old, a bachelor party coming in from out of town from all over the place, or a hardcore tournament or scenario player. We want to be on the high end of all of those different realms and also host, the most fun big games every year. as far as that, we could also add in some other activities in the future. So my goal is I like being in the birthday party business. It's very happy, with good customer service. I like being in that business. I don't want to take people's money for anything else. It's just, to me, it's you're paying for amazing memories, and that's what I want to grow old doing, is just making people happy for a living. So if there was another activity that was similar, we might do laser tag at some point. We might do batting cages. Who knows? But for right now, the park is called LVL Up Sports and not Level Up Paintball for a reason, because we might go in other directions. But at the very least, we are always going to be a awesome paintball park that's right near home, right in Grove City.
And that's what's cool about your place, because it is so adaptable. There's no limits to what you could do. But that's got to be exciting as an owner. You know what I mean? So that's what's cool about this, and I can see that as you're building this following through social media and through word of mouth, I think big things are going to happen for you. And again, it's the people that you have working for you, people like Mike and everybody else. That's what's cool about it, is to know local people are helping you build that business, and local moms are helping you.
Sure. Well, they feel like it's part of them. I mean, that's the best part. Like everyone in Grove City feels like Level Up is like they helped, because a lot of people in Grove City helped us build. When we posted out just photos of like the empty dirt, and we would get 20 people a day just stopping by saying, "Hey, you need a hand?" Just kids coming to help, and some of those kids.
Community for that.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
Yep.
Grove City is perfect for this. So we feel like we're a part of the community, and we feel like it's Grove City's paintball park, not mine or Mike's or anything like that. So cheers to paintball.
Mike, do you have any words of wisdom in the last 60 seconds we have?
Never.
Perfect. That's what I was hoping for. I was hoping for a no. Well, you've been listening to 101, brought to you by Whiteside Dodge Chrysler Jeep, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks.